Today we're showing you how our recently enhanced AI assistant transforms document workflows from manual processes into autonomous, intelligent operations. For too long, working with documents meant tedious, error-prone tasks that drained company resources. Manual data extraction, repetitive form filling, searching page by page for sensitive information to redact. These operations slow teams down and keep them from higher value work. Our latest update introduces document agents. The chat agent answers questions and summarizes content. The document editing agent is what's new. It autonomously handles data extraction, form filling, and redaction from natural language commands, seamlessly integrated with your document viewer. For end users, this means no more clicking through menus or waiting for developer support. Describe what you need and watch the agent execute. Extract contract clauses, fill expense reports, redact sensitive information, all in seconds, with human confirmation where it matters. For developers, AI Assistant replaces custom scripts with natural language automation. No more writing extraction rules or field mapping logic. One integration covers what previously required multiple tools and vendors. For business owners, you can stay in control. Use any LLM provider: OpenAI, Azure, AWS Bedrock, Anthropic Cloud. Deploy on your infrastructure or in the cloud. Configure which actions require approval and inject your compliance rules and business logic directly into the agent. Skills make the agent work for your business. Inject company-specific knowledge, compliance rules, pricing data, validation requirements, industry terminology. The agent doesn't just understand documents in general, it understands your documents, your processes, your rules. No prompt engineering required. Real bottlenecks, real solutions. Contract review for legal, blueprint extraction for construction, invoice processing for finance, protected health information for healthcare, public records for government, all through natural language. Now let's see it in action. Nick, one of our software engineers who built this technology, will walk you through live examples of what AI Assistant can do.
So here we have the Web SDK running, and this is the AI Assistant you see in the side. And this is actually version 2 of the AI Assistant, which enables agents. And agents are a collection of tools, system prompts, and skills to be able to edit and extract information from documents. So let's get to our first example. So I want to show you an example of how we can read and edit form fields directly from the AI Assistant. And I have a prompt here which is a little bit long, but it's essentially a transcript that I've taken, and I want to extract the information from this transcript and fill out this form with that information. So we can send that off to the AI right now, and we can see what happens here is, first of all, it actually reads the form fields to understand what forms are actually in the PDF itself, and then it makes a call to update those form fields. And we can see that all the information here is filled out. If we cross-reference that with the original transcript, then we'd see that that information is correct. But that shows how form filling can be automated in a very quick way from natural language. Now I'd like to introduce you to another example, which is redaction. And this is quite interesting because previously we've had to rely upon regular expressions or exact string matching to perform any type of automated redaction. Well, now we have the AI system. We can actually understand in natural language what we would like to try and redact. So for example, I have a prompt here which is just redact all names. You can see that I'm quite vague about that. I'm not saying what specific names or anything like that. And redact these from the first page. So one thing I've been able to actually mention, it's just the first page that I want redacting, which is quite powerful as well. And you can see that it's actually highlighted all the names that we can see on there on the first page. As part of this workflow, it's not going to redact these straight away because you obviously want to review these, and you can use the UI at this point to be able to remove some of those redactions or add a few more. but the AI assistant will ask you, do you want to permanently redact these? And when you agree, then you can just press yes and it will redact them from the page, as you can see here. So one of the interesting features that we built into version 2 of AI Assistant is the contextual understanding of what you're looking at right now. So for example, I can simply say, please explain this graph to me. And I don't have to tell it what page I'm on. I don't have to give it a screenshot. I don't have to copy paste anything. It will go away, work out what I'm looking at, and send that to the AI to be able to process. So we can look back up here. We have a box here, which is the reasoning output. So it's worked out that we're viewing page 3 here. And at that point, it can go away and call a tool. And this tool here is a render tool. And that render gets passed back to the AI for it to be able to understand and reason about. And we can see that it's giving a response to explain this graph to us, which is pretty cool. That's a single shot example here, but you may have a example that requires a lot more reasoning or a lot more long-term workflow. So for example, I've got one here which asks, please can you find all the references mentioned in the document and categorize them by author name. So that requires multiple lookups and many tool calls to be able to understand the document as a whole and then do a little bit of thinking and reasoning to understand how to categorize them. So you can see that it did some reasoning first of all, and then it got some content from the document. So this is textual content this time. You can see that it actually parsed the whole document and instead decided that it should just look at the end of the document, which makes a lot more sense because most of the references are actually at the end of the document, and then does exactly what I asked it to, which is formatted it by categorizing by name. So this is an interesting example that requires a multi-step process. So now I'm going to show you a more difficult example here, which is a construction document that requires a lot more visual understanding of what's going on in the document and show what the AI does in that case. So I've got an example prompt here, which is, please can you measure all the bedrooms and give the total area they take up in square meters. Show me your working. So first of all, if we have a look at those bedrooms here, you can see that they're actually in feet and inches. So that's an easy one that it has to do some conversion here. And also it has to get the render of the page and understand where the bedrooms are and identify all of the bedrooms. So you can see, first of all, it's called this tool called check for skills. And the reason it's done that is because there was a skill in there which gave it a little bit of information which can be injected, either business logic or any type of tool use information where you want to try and guide it a bit more. And in this case, it's basically giving it information about how documents are labeled, for example, the bedrooms, etc. It will then go on to render a page. So it rendered the page in order to do some OCR to actually obtain some of this information, because this information is just a render right now. And you can see that it's output all of the information it found. If we cross-reference these numbers, I would hope that they were all correct. They look roughly correct, and it shows the calculations and then gives you the answer at the end. So you can see that it required a bit more reasoning here. And we can take this one step further. So please, can you measure the exterior wall on the left-hand side? So this is going to be even more difficult because there is not a single dimension that it can actually OCR from the document. It has to do measurements itself. So it's going to think for a while here because this is definitely a more difficult example. But I'm going to pause the video and just come back to it when there is an answer. So now it's complete, and there was a lot of steps that it had to actually go through to come up with this answer. So first of all, it did some measurements in pixels skills because it got the page render and it can actually identify the pixel location of where the top of the exterior wall and the bottom of the exterior wall is. And then it had to convert that into PDF points after that, and that's because it's in a different coordinate system on the actual PDF. And even at that point, it then called a specialized calculate measurement tool that we provide to make sure that the math is actually correct on this. And in the end, it was able to give us the exterior wall measurement completely from all that data.
The document editing agent is available now for WebViewer SDK with iOS, Android, and hybrid support coming soon. Same API across all platforms. Configure once, deploy everywhere. Getting started is simple. Run the Docker container, add your LLM API key, integrate with a few lines of code. Our guides walk you through everything, from configuration to customization. Make the agent work exactly how you need it. Define expertise through system prompts. Inject skills with your business logic. Set which actions require human review. Flexible automation with the guardrails you need. Want to try it for yourself? Visit our AI Assistant Playground. Upload your own documents and test these capabilities firsthand. Ready to integrate? Our Getting Started guide covers everything from deployment to configuration. You'll be up and running in minutes. Visit the documentation at nutrient.io/guides/AI Assistant. Documents that enable work, that's the future we're building with Nutrient AI Assistant. Start building today.